The man known as the Hermit did not return to New York the way he left. The old fussiness disappeared, his gaze became heavy and penetrating, as if he saw not the walls of high-rise buildings, but endless red deserts. He said he had spent years in Australia's places of power, in remote places where the earth itself remembers the whisper of stars that are millions of years old. He didn't bring souvenirs with him, but knowledge. At first it was just an exotic hobby. At parties, drinking beer, the Hermit talked about ancient dreams, about creatures that slumbered underground before the arrival of man, about the rhythms of the universe that can be captured and used. His stories were as fascinating as they were improbable. But they had a strange, lingering logic that attracted those who were bored with reality. He didn't create a cult. He offered a way. A small, elegant system of meditations, breathing practices, and symbols. He called it personal evolution, expanding the boundaries of perception. He gave knowledge in a dosed manner, like an expensive and rare drug. His sister's friend went through the path first out of curiosity. His friend is a colleague from his old job, because he was looking for enlightenment. An old friend, just for company, for a joke. Step by step, week after week, they followed the strange but seemingly harmless instructions of the Hermit. They drew certain signs in chalk or charcoal in their apartments, whispered phrases in a forgotten language, and carried pieces of stone with them at dawn, which the teacher handed them. Their world wasn't falling apart. On the contrary, many felt an inexplicable surge of strength, clarity of mind, and even good luck in business. This was the most convincing proof. The path worked. The final step was described as the key to the gate, to the true self. The ritual was supposed to take place in complete isolation. I had to choose a small room, pull the curtains tightly so that there was no light. On the floor and on the ceiling, 2 circles had to be drawn with absolute precision, covered with the very symbols they had been studying all this time. The circles were supposed to be mirror images of each other. Then reading the text. Short, but guttural, consisting of sounds that hurt the ear and constricted the throat. My sister's friend did it in her studio. I read the last word. A light that wasn't there flashed on. Dazzling green, pulsating, distorting space. The air rushed out of her lungs in a whistling scream that clearly did not belong to her. And when all was quiet, the room was empty. Only a strange smell of ozone and hot sand smoldered on the floor, melting into the parquet. A colleague from an old job disappeared after a ritual in his office. An old friend is in the parents' guest room. Like ghosts, they dissolved into the glow and the alien scream. The police threw up their hands. There were no signs of a struggle, no motives, no bodies. One by one, people simply ceased to exist in New York. It was only when his own sister disappeared that one of his friends, who had just started his journey, broke into the Hermit's apartment. He found him sitting by the window, looking out at the night city. His face was a mask of immense fatigue and peace, which the living do not have. "Where are they? What did you do?" his friend croaked. "Where is your sister?" The Hermit turned around. There was no malice or triumph in his eyes. Only deep, universal sorrow. In the shelter, the Hermit said softly, "Where my journey began. Deep in the ground, in one of those places that are not mapped. There's a cage there. Ancient as life itself on this planet. And in it, it is." The Hermit described this creature. neither a humanoid, nor a lizard, not an insect. Something whose shape did not obey the known geometry, whose body was composed of the shadow of chitin and the light of stars that do not exist in our skies. An ancient guardian, a parasitic god who fell asleep in the Australian wilderness long before the dinosaurs appeared. His cult, a small, dying handful of people, kept him asleep, and when he woke up, they fed him. They caught me when I was stupid and greedy for secrets, the hermit continued. They took my soul. They enclosed her in an unusual stone. And they offered a deal. Freedom in exchange for food. For a certain number of souls brought to the gate. I didn't kill them, you know. I just guided me. Ritual is not a gateway to enlightenment. It's a teleporter. An instantaneous transfer from point A, say, to point B, into a stone cage to it. He spoke evenly, without emotion. And that's it. Devouring them? Yes. It's not from our reality. It's not the flesh he needs. And the life force, the very essence. The flash of light that the adepts see is the moment of transition. And that scream. It's his hunger. How much? My friend whispered, feeling the floor give out from under his feet. How many are there? The sister was the 39th, the hermit replied, staring into the void. I'm the only one left. The 40th soul and the senior priests will break the stone. I'll be whole again. I can feel it. I can finally die for real. He looked at his former friend, and there was such an abyss of despair in his gaze that it became clear that he himself had long been a dead man, a walking trap. Longing and hope. You've already taken the third step, the hermit stated, not asking. The symbols are already burning in your memory. You can't forget them. Sooner or later, out of curiosity or because you feel their call, you will draw circles. You will read the words. And we'll both be free. And he turned back to the window, to the carefree lights of the crazy, unknown city, which was just a barnyard for him, and his friends, relatives, acquaintances were just the ticket of his soul back to him.